Hi guys. There's a trained assassin coming after you right now. He can't be stopped, he won't stop, and he's not going to stop until he gets you. You can't run away, sit back down. There's no running away from this. He's gonna find you, he's coming closer, and he's going to have you! That feeling, dear viewer, is called anxiety, and it affects millions of Americans and millions of people across the world. So now you might be thinking, how can I benefit from this fact? And I find this to answer most questions, but the answer is exploitation. People get scared. Happens to the best of us. But you and me like that. So much so, we watch horror movies. To get scared. Now, most people like to spark this foreboding feeling of fright by formulating a fictitious fiend, but Jeffrey Reddick forgoes the fiend for arbitrary auspicious apprehension. He scares you with nothing. You might be thinking, Shanye, that's bananas. How can a movie scare you with nothing? First answer, people get scared over nothing all the time. It's called gaslighting. Second answer, Jeffrey uses the very formula of Final Destination to burrow his way into your psyche. He does this by making the atmosphere feel as real as possible, and by killing off the entire cast in the first 10 minutes. Psych, it was a premonition. Normally, the main character gets their friends out of the situation before it happens, but at a cost. It makes God incredibly butthurt. So much so that he will go through great lengths to ensure that these hooligans die, and by him, they will die. As long as they die in the exact order they were supposed to die in the premonition. And the order can get skipped over. And the main character can predict this order through the premonition they had. Other than that, they're fucked. Death prefers to come for these wayward souls sooner rather than later. But Death sure is an elaborate killer. In case you don't know what I'm hinting at, I created this simulation to accurately depict on how characters die in this franchise. Hold on to your bunions, because shit's about to get messy.
Okay, so let's imagine this. You're fixing your fence in your backyard, and you're gonna start moving on to another section of the fence, when you accidentally step on a stray garden hoe, which causes you to freak out and lose your hammer, which falls onto this contraption, which launches a brick into a nearby tree. The tree loses a twig, which lands in this air conditioning unit, which causes a chain reaction to make this propane tank explode in exactly 10 seconds.
Now keep in mind, all the kills in the movie are like this. From main characters to side characters, everyone dies in this fashion. Now, is that really a bad thing? In my opinion, it really is. I like this method of horror. It has a way of drawing out a character's death, and all you can do is sit back and watch. In one of the first movies, a guy literally gets butt-fucked at the bottom of a pool by a water pump when there's like 30 people swimming around him. When I saw this for the first time, I was asking myself, surely someone has to help him, right? I mean, he's literally under their noses. And then the water pump erupted into Mount St. John Gacy, and I was all like, what? But a wise man once told me, to really appreciate something, you have to see it through all of its faults. Sure, these kills are cool and entertaining, but there's no way any of this will happen to a real person. When you just sit back and look at how these guys are dying, you start to realize how bullshit half of these kills are. I mean, the water pump kill isn't even physically possible. One kill that I like to quote when I'm talking about this franchise is the fabled movie theater kill. If you don't know what I am talking about, fear not. I am going to read out the events of this kill verbatim as stated from the Final Destination wiki to fully emphasize how absurd this is.
Behind Theater 13, wind blows through a window, blowing the window tarp onto a fan. One of the rings used to hold up the tarp catches on the fan switch, turning it on and blowing the tarp onto a wheeled cart holding up gasoline containers and other supplies. The tarp acts as a sail, moving the cart through the construction area. It rolls over some cables, causing a gasoline tank without a lid to fall over, pouring gasoline on the floor as the cart rolls further. At the same time, sunlight comes in through the window, refracting through a pair of glasses into a sawdust pile. The sawdust catches fire, and the gasoline is ignited, spreading the fire throughout the room. The trail of gasoline leads to several tanks of spontaneously combustible chemicals, which then catches fire and explode.
The chances of you getting mauled by a bear right now are low, but not zero.
and the chances of this happening to a real person is somehow slimmer than that. Honestly, I feel bad for people with chronic anxiety, because I wouldn't want to leave my house either if this thought process plagued me throughout my daily life. You gotta admit, kills like these are stupid, but that doesn't mean they're not a spectacle to behold. I have never finished a Final Destination movie dissatisfied with the way death manifests these Rube Goldberg contraptions. Now the characters are a different story, probably. I don't remember most of them. Obviously, people like feeling anxious. All 5 Final Destination movies have grossed around $100 million, and there's a 6th movie releasing in May. And there's rumors of a 7th. Clearly, anxiety pays. Which is why, after this, I will be dressing up as a doctor, going to my local hospital, and telling every patient that they have 6 weeks left to live. I estimate that by the end of this month, I'll have enough money to buy Cancun, stay safe, eat cake, and I'll see you later.